Alright guys, in this video we have some extremely exciting news to go over and talk about here, and that is the big news that apparently The Last of Us is getting an HBO series that's going to be worked on by both Neil Druckmann and the creator of Chernobyl. Now this is absolutely huge, and this news came almost immediately after we got the news for Ghost of Tsushima. It seems that Sony decided that today was going to be a big news day for PlayStation and an exciting day for PlayStation fans, obviously. I would have talked about this in my Ghost of Tsushima video, however, I was not aware of it at the time of recording that, so that's why I have to make a second video here. But I'm actually totally okay with this because this news is big enough to stand on its own here, and people are extremely excited about this, and this is a big deal. And as a Last of Us fan, as a huge Last of Us fan, I am incredibly excited. So I have all the details here. We're going to go over it and talk about it. But before I do, if you could do me a favor, hit the like button if you are excited about a Last of Us HBO series. And make sure you hit the subscribe button as well if you haven't already done that, so you can stay up to date with not only all things Last of Us, but all things PlayStation as well. So it says here that Craig Mazin, the creator of the acclaimed limited series Chernobyl, is reteaming with HBO to adapt The Last of Us, the massive Sony PlayStation video game franchise. In a rare development in the world of video game adaptations, the writer and creative director of the game, Neil Druckmann, is also involved and will work with Mazin to pen and executive produce what is intended to be a series. Carolyn Strauss will also executive produce along with Evan Wells, the president of Naughty Dog, the Santa Monica-based developer of the game. The project is a co-production with Sony Pictures Television in association with PlayStation Productions. It will be the first television series from PlayStation Productions. Now it goes on here to explain what The Last of Us is for those who aren't aware of this, because even though we're all familiar with what The Last of Us is, this is going to expose The Last of Us to a much wider audience now, and a much different audience, people who don't really play video games. And so it says here that Mazin, who is said to be an avid player of the game, stated Neil Druckmann is without question the finest storyteller working in the video game medium, and The Last of Us is his magnum opus. Getting a chance to adapt this breathtaking work of art has been a dream of mine for years, and I'm so honored to do it in partnership with Neil. From the first time I sat down to talk with Craig, I was equally blown away by his approach to narrative and his love and deep understanding of The Last of Us, said Druckmann in a statement. With Chernobyl, Craig and HBO created a tense, harrowing, emotional masterpiece. I couldn't think of better partners to bring the story of The Last of Us to life as a television show. The Last of Us won numerous Game of the Year awards and went on to sell more than 17 million copies across both its original release on the PlayStation 3 and a remastered version on PlayStation 4. This is an incredibly exciting opportunity for us to partner with Craig, Neil, Carolyn, and the teams at Sony, Naughty Dog, and PlayStation to bring the virtual world of this acclaimed game to life, stated HBO programming president Casey Bloys. This is the first of many shows we intend to develop with our friends at PlayStation Productions, said Chris Parnell, co-president of Sony Pictures Television Studios. The Last of Us is a brilliant achievement in storytelling and character development, and we are lucky to have the opportunity to work with this team to adapt it. So, yeah. Pretty big news here, guys. Like, this is a big deal, and as you can tell, it's a big deal. It's going to be on HBO, and there's a lot of big names involved here, and man, like, it's one thing to get an Uncharted movie starring, Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland. And the excitement for that, I'm not going to lie, isn't nearly as high because there's a lot of things that can go wrong with a movie. In fact, I've seen a lot of people express that if we're going to see anything, based off of these IPs like Uncharted or The Last of Us or anything else that Sony has, a TV series in the eyes of many people is a much better way to do it, because it gives you just so much more depth, just so much more room to be able to expand upon a lot of the really important things. Because when you play a video game, there's a lot going on. Video games are long, they're not short, and it's really I think the reason why most video game movies fail is because there's a lot of reasons, but one of the biggest ones is because it's so difficult to cram everything that people love about a video game into a hour and a half, 2 hour viewing. It just, you miss so much, and so much just has to be removed. It kind of removes the essence of what makes the story in the game itself, the IP itself, valuable. That's why so many people loved the Witcher series, and the fact that, I mean, could you imagine if instead of a Witcher series we got a movie? I mean, it could probably still be good, but it would be lacking in so many areas, right? Like there's so much less story that could, would have to be told. And so I look at this and I think, not only is this amazing, but the fact that Neil Druckmann is going to be like an executive producer here, and he's going to be involved in writing it, this gives me the big, like, I am convinced this will be a success. Okay, like when you look at the Uncharted movie, it's been through so many directors, and it has a chance. I won't lie, the Uncharted movie has a chance. But the fact it's a movie that's already working against it, and the fact that it's had so many production issues or so much trouble in production or even pre-production, it's not a good sign. Hearing this sounds amazing, and my excitement for this is through the roof. It really is. And when you think about, who's going to play who, off the top of my head, the only thing I'm thinking right now is I would like to see Hugh Jackman potentially. Actually, I don't want to say I would like to see Hugh Jackman. I really hope we see Hugh Jackman as Joel, because I'm a big fan of Hugh Jackman, but I've seen some of his roles outside of Wolverine and his acting ability. Not only does he have the look of Joel, but he has that personality, like, as well. Like, he can act out that personality. I think he would just be such a perfect fit. And so this is where I think the comments are going to be really interesting. I want you guys to let me know down below who you see playing certain characters. Now, we don't even know if this is going to be, if this is going to be about Joel and Ellie. It might not. It might be something completely different in the Last of Us universe. However, I would argue that everybody involved in this is probably well aware that people want to see Joel and Ellie. At least that's what people are expecting. And even though it could go wrong, it's still something I'd be willing to check out. However, I would be totally okay with a just standalone story in the Last of Us universe. I think it has the potential to be just as good, maybe, well, I don't want to say better, but just as good, because I don't think a TV series could outdo the game that is The Last of Us, but I think it could be just as good. And as you can tell, I'm really excited about this. I'm just as excited for the Ghost of Tsushima news, but this is really cool because I didn't expect it. Like Ghost of Tsushima, we know about, and we were expecting to get a date. However, we weren't expecting it to release so soon, and we weren't expecting to get the date today, which is awesome. But I mean, if somebody would have told me in a leak, yesterday in a forum that The Last of Us is going to get an HBO TV series that's going to be announced tomorrow, I would have laughed at that. I would have literally laughed at that and said, okay, sure, and we have this here, and so it's extremely exciting, guys. So again, I want you to let me know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. How do you feel about this Last of Us TV series? Is it something you're excited for? Let me know why or why not. And if you are excited for it, or even if you're not, just let me know who you could see, what actor or actresses you could see playing these roles, such as Joel, Ellie, and others, like, Tess and stuff like that. And, just let me know, and Bill, all these really interesting characters, let me know who you could see playing the roles. For me, it's going to have to be Hugh Jackman as Joel. I can't really think of anybody for Ellie off the top of my head. But you guys let me know down below. I will be very interested to see what you guys have to say. Again, leave the video a like if you're happy to hear this news, if you're excited about it, or if you just enjoyed the video or found it informative. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and haven't already. Hit the bell notification icon so you never miss an upload, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.